Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to take a moment and think about who you used to be 5 years ago. Think about the habits, the mindset, the people, and the comfort zones that surrounded you. Now ask yourself, are you still living as that same person today? Because if you are, that means you haven't grown. And growth, my friends, doesn't happen naturally. It happens intentionally. You have to force yourself to outgrow the old version of you. Growth begins when you get uncomfortable with your old habits and outdated mindset. Most people want success, they want change, they want elevation, but they also want to stay comfortable. You can't have both. Growth doesn't come from doing what's easy or familiar. It comes from stepping into the uncomfortable spaces where your old patterns no longer fit. Every version of you that existed before today was built on certain habits, beliefs, and routines that served you at one point. But the truth is, what got you here won't get you there. At some point, you have to look at your life and realize that the comfort you're holding onto is actually the cage that's keeping you small. When you start feeling uneasy, when things start to feel like they don't fit anymore, that's not life punishing you. That's life pushing you. Growth always begins in discomfort. It's that moment when your spirit whispers, you can do better than this. Maybe it's the job you've outgrown, the people who no longer match your energy, the habits that keep you stuck in a loop of mediocrity. The discomfort is a signal that your old self is cracking open to make room for your new self. Most people run from that feeling. They want transformation without the tension, evolution without the effort, and progress without the pain. It doesn't work that way. You've got to be willing to get uncomfortable long enough to grow into your next level. You see, every time you outgrow something, it's supposed to feel strange. You'll wake up one day and realize that the things you used to love no longer excite you. The conversations you used to have no longer feed your spirit, and the routines that once made sense now feel meaningless. That's not confusion, that's clarity. It's your soul telling you that you've reached your limit at this level. You can't climb higher if you keep clinging to what's beneath you. Growth requires release. The release of old habits, old thinking, and sometimes old versions of yourself that you've become too attached to. Getting uncomfortable isn't easy, but it's necessary. You have to train your mind to see discomfort as a signal, not a setback. When you're lifting weights, it's the tension that builds muscle. When you're pursuing success, it's the pressure that builds character. The only reason some people never evolve is because they spend their entire lives avoiding discomfort. They stay in the same job, with the same people, doing the same things, wondering why nothing changes. You've got to reach a point where comfort feels dangerous, because comfort kills potential. Every great person, every successful story, every breakthrough moment came from someone who got tired of staying the same. If you really want to change your life, you have to confront your habits. Ask yourself, what are the things you do every day that keep you from becoming your best self? Maybe you waste time scrolling instead of learning. Maybe you talk yourself out of taking risks. Maybe you surround yourself with people who don't challenge you to grow. Those are the habits of your old self. The self that's afraid to evolve. The moment you recognize that, you can begin the process of change. And let me tell you something, change doesn't happen overnight. It's not a switch, it's a process. You have to force yourself day by day to replace old habits with new ones. When your alarm goes off, get up even if you don't feel like it. When your fear speaks, move anyway. When your old thoughts try to talk you out of growing, remind yourself that comfort is the enemy of greatness. Most people think growth feels good. It doesn't. Growth feels like confusion, resistance, and sometimes even loss. You'll lose parts of yourself that once felt essential. You'll lose relationships that no longer align. But that's okay. You're not losing anything real. You're just shedding the layers that no longer fit the person you're becoming. Think about a snake shedding its skin. It's a painful, natural process, but it's necessary for survival. If the snake refuses to shed, it dies. The same applies to you. If you refuse to outgrow your old habits and mindset, your potential will suffocate under the weight of your comfort. The world will keep moving whether you evolve or not. Opportunities will pass you by. Time will not slow down to wait for you to feel ready. So you've got to push yourself. You've got to decide that being uncomfortable today is better than being stuck forever. Every time you resist the urge to fall back into your old patterns, you are building strength. Every time you face discomfort and keep going, you are growing. The old you will fight to survive because it knows that once you grow beyond it, it no longer has power. But that's the point. You weren't designed to stay the same. You were created to evolve. Growth begins when you stop running from discomfort and start learning from it. When you can look at your fear, your doubt, your hesitation, and still choose to move forward, that's when life changes. The discomfort you feel is simply proof that you're stepping into a new version of yourself. One that's stronger, wiser, and more capable than ever before. So embrace that unease, because it's not the end of who you are. It's the beginning of who you're becoming. You can't step into your new life wearing the same shoes from your old journey. Every stage of your life demands a different version of you, a stronger version, a wiser version, a more disciplined version. The habits, the mindset, and the energy that carried you through the last chapter will not be enough to take you where you want to go next. People often want to experience something new while staying exactly the same. They want the reward without the renewal, the blessing without the breakthrough, the promotion without the preparation. But it doesn't work that way. You can't move forward while dragging the weight of who you used to be. You've got to make a conscious decision to put down the old version of yourself and walk boldly into the new season of your life. Every new chapter requires a wardrobe change. Just like you wouldn't wear summer clothes in the middle of winter, you can't expect your old habits to protect you in a new environment. Those shoes you've been walking in, the ones that once felt comfortable and familiar, might now be too tight. They might hurt your feet because your growth has outgrown your gear. Spiritually, mentally, emotionally, you've expanded. The old mindset of doubt, fear, and self-sabotage no longer fits who you are becoming. Yet, most people still try to squeeze themselves into the comfort of old patterns because that's what they know. They stay stuck in relationships that drain them, routines that don't challenge them, and environments that limit their imagination, all because they're afraid to take off those old shoes and walk barefoot into something new. There comes a time when you have to stop protecting your past and start preparing for your future. You can't keep telling yourself, this is just who I am, when deep down you know that's not who you're meant to be anymore. You can't carry yesterday's excuses into tomorrow's opportunities. The person you used to be might have been built for survival, but the person you're becoming is built for purpose. That means you'll have to unlearn certain behaviors and challenge old beliefs and separate yourself from the patterns that used to define you. Growth requires release. And release means letting go, not because you hate your past, but because you respect your future too much to bring your old baggage into it. Think about this: when you upgrade your phone, you don't keep the broken apps that no longer work with the new system. You delete them because they'll slow everything down. The same thing happens in life. When you're stepping into your new season, the old habits, negative people, and toxic thoughts that used to run your life can no longer function with your new mindset. If you keep holding on to them, you'll crash That's why so many people get stuck halfway through their journey. They want a new destination, but they keep operating with old directions. You can't expect to evolve if you keep using the same patterns that created the old you. The new life you're asking for requires a new level of thinking, discipline, and faith. You'll have to train your mind to believe you deserve more and your heart to handle change. You'll have to walk differently, talk differently, and see yourself differently. The old version of you might have been afraid to speak up, afraid to fail, afraid to start over, but the new version of you knows that silence doesn't build dreams and fear doesn't create freedom. You can't keep showing up to your future acting like your past. Every day you wake up, you have a choice to walk the same path with the same shoes or to take them off and trust the process of becoming new. Sometimes the people around you won't understand your transformation. They'll say, "You've changed." And they'll be right. You were supposed to. You're not supposed to be the same person year after year. Growth looks like changing your conversation, setting boundaries, walking away from drama, and investing in yourself. The same shoes that used to take you to small places can't handle the distance of your destiny. Don't be afraid to outgrow your environment. Don't be afraid to say, "That's not for me anymore." It's not arrogance, it's awareness. You've simply realized that your old habits can't carry your new blessings. When you step into your new life, it will feel uncomfortable at first. You'll stumble, question yourself, maybe even doubt if you made the right decision. But that's just the process of breaking in new shoes. At first, they might hurt a little, but the more you walk in them, the more they fit. That's what change feels like. You're adjusting to a new version of yourself, one that refuses to settle for less. You'll have to trust that every step forward, no matter how shaky, is proof that you're not who you used to be. The journey to your new life is not about forgetting your past, but learning from it. It's about honoring the lessons without repeating the patterns. Every scar, every failure, every misstep was preparing you for the moment you finally decided to evolve. But evolution demands action. It's not enough to dream about a better life. You have to walk toward it, even if it means walking away from what once felt safe. The shoes that served you yesterday will slow you down tomorrow. Take them off. Step into your new life barefoot if you must, but keep walking. Because the only way to grow is to move. And the only way to move forward is to stop trying to fit into the version of yourself that no longer exists. The world doesn't wait for you to evolve. You must force yourself to move forward. Life keeps moving whether you're ready or not. Time doesn't stop for your hesitation, your fear, or your excuses. Opportunities don't pause while you decide if you're good enough to take them. The world will not slow down so you can catch up. You have to pick up your pace and match its rhythm. Too many people are waiting for the perfect moment, waiting until they feel ready, waiting until they have everything figured out before they take a step. But here's the truth. You will never feel completely ready. Growth doesn't wait for comfort. Progress doesn't wait for confidence. If you want to move forward, you have to do it scared, uncertain, and sometimes alone. That's how you grow. You have to understand that stagnation is a silent killer of dreams. The longer you wait to move, the heavier your excuses become. Life is constantly changing. New opportunities are born every day, and people who are bold enough to act are the ones who catch them. The rest spend their time watching others live the life they dreamed of, wondering why things never work out for them. The answer is simple: they waited too long. They wanted the world to adjust to their timing instead of adjusting themselves to the pace of the world. You can't be passive about your future. You have to take charge, take risks, and take action, even when it feels uncomfortable. Because if you don't move, you'll get left behind. The world rewards momentum. When you start moving, things begin to shift in your favor. Opportunities find you, people notice you, and doors begin to open that you didn't even know existed. But that only happens when you're in motion. If you keep standing still, waiting for the right conditions, you'll miss the train that was meant to take you to your next level. The people you admire didn't get ahead because they had everything figured out. They got ahead because they moved when others froze. They made mistakes, they failed, they stumbled, but they kept going. And that's what separates the successful from the stuck. You can't keep living your life based on the fear of making a wrong move. Sometimes not moving at all is the biggest mistake you can make. Every step forward teaches you something, even if it doesn't lead exactly where you expected. Every failure builds resilience. Every setback builds wisdom. You don't have to see the entire path to start walking. You just need enough courage to take the first step. Once you start moving, clarity comes with motion. You'll learn as you go, grow as you go, and discover new parts of yourself that you would have never met if you stayed still. Forcing yourself to move forward means refusing to let comfort dictate your direction. It means choosing growth over ease, purpose over fear, and discipline over doubt. You have to wake up every day and tell yourself, I will not let my potential expire because of my hesitation. The world is filled with people who had incredible talent, but never used it because they waited for permission. Don't wait for someone to tell you it's time to move. Don't wait for motivation to strike. Motivation fades, discipline remains. The more you move, the more momentum you create, and momentum is what transforms an ordinary person into an unstoppable force. There will be moments when you feel like you're not making progress, moments when it seems like no one notices your effort. That's when you have to remind yourself that progress isn't always visible. Sometimes you're growing in silence, preparing for an opportunity that hasn't arrived yet. Keep pushing anyway, keep showing up, keep doing the work. The world doesn't wait for those who hesitate, but it rewards those who persist. The difference between the people who reach their dreams and those who don't is simple. One kept moving even when it hurt. Forcing yourself to evolve isn't about rushing, it's about refusing to be stuck. It's about recognizing that your potential deserves more than your procrastination. You can't expect success to chase you down. You have to go after it with intention and urgency. Every day you waste wishing for change is a day you could have been building it. The world doesn't stop spinning for anyone, and neither should you. No matter how many times you fall, no matter how uncertain the path seems, keep putting one foot in front of the other. Movement creates momentum, and momentum creates transformation. There's power in forward motion. The moment you decide to stop waiting for the perfect time and start making the most of this time, your life begins to shift. The fear will still be there, the doubt will still whisper, but your determination will speak louder. You'll realize that the world owes you nothing. It simply responds to your effort. So stop waiting for the world to catch up to your dreams. Force yourself to evolve, to move forward, to grow beyond what you thought possible. Because in the end, it's not the world that passes you by, it's the version of yourself that never had the courage to move. Change requires sacrifice, comfort, time, and sometimes people. You cannot transform your life while holding on to everything that keeps you the same. Growth always comes with a price, and the cost is usually something you don't want to let go of. The reason most people never change is because they're unwilling to pay that price. They want a new life, but cling to the comfort of the old one. They want to rise higher, but fear losing the things that make them feel safe. But every transformation demands that you give up something familiar to gain something greater. You can't stay in your comfort zone and expect to become extraordinary. The two cannot coexist. Comfort feels good because it's predictable. You know what to expect, and that gives you a false sense of control. But comfort kills potential. It's the quiet enemy that convinces you to settle. Every dream, every breakthrough, every success begins when you decide that comfort is no longer your goal. You have to be willing to sacrifice ease for growth. That might mean waking up earlier, working longer, or doing the hard things that no one else is willing to do. It might mean facing rejection, risking failure, or stepping into places where you feel uncertain. But remember this, comfort never built character. Struggle did. Sacrifice did. The road to success is paved with things you had to give up to get there. Time is another sacrifice most people don't want to make. Everyone says they want to change, but few are willing to put in the hours. Real change doesn't happen overnight. It happens day by day through consistent effort when no one is watching. You have to sacrifice leisure for learning, distractions for discipline, instant gratification for long-term gain. Time is the most valuable resource you have, and how you use it determines the quality of your life. You can't expect to build something meaningful if you keep wasting your hours on things that don't serve your purpose. You have to treat your time like gold, protect it, invest it, and spend it wisely. Change isn't about finding more time. It's about making better use of the time you already have. Then there's the hardest sacrifice of all, people. Sometimes the people you love are the very ones holding you back. Not because they're bad, but because they're comfortable with who you used to be. They might not understand your hunger, your vision, or your desire to grow. And that's okay. Not everyone is meant to go with you to your next level. Some people belong in your history, not your destiny. It hurts to outgrow people. It hurts to walk away from relationships that once felt like home. But if those relationships require you to shrink, to compromise your dreams, or to stay stuck where you are, then keeping them is too expensive. Growth means learning to love people from a distance while protecting your purpose up close. Sacrifice isn't punishment, it's preparation. Every time you let go of something small, you make room for something greater. The pain of sacrifice is temporary, but the reward of change lasts a lifetime. Think about every successful person you admire. They all had to give something up. Sleep, comfort, doubt, toxic relationships, bad habits, to step into their greatness. Nobody gets to the top without letting go of something at the bottom. When you're willing to sacrifice, you send a signal to life that you're serious about growth. You're saying, I'm ready to pay the price. And once you make that decision, the universe begins to open doors that were once closed. There will be moments when you question whether the sacrifice is worth it. You'll miss the people, the comfort, the easy days. You'll have nights when you feel like you're giving everything and getting nothing in return. But that's just the test. Growth always tests your patience before it rewards your persistence. Keep going. Keep believing that what you're building is worth more than what you're leaving behind. Because the truth is, you can't gain without giving. You can't step into abundance while clinging to scarcity. You can't become your future self while living like your past self. Something has to go. And that's what sacrifice is, a trade. You trade who you are for who you want to become. You trade your comfort for your calling, your fear for faith, your excuses for effort. It's not easy, but it's necessary. The life you want isn't on sale. You have to pay full price. So when life starts pulling you out of your comfort zone, don't resist it. When you feel like you're losing things, understand that you're actually making space. Every sacrifice you make becomes a seed for your next season. And one day, when you look back, you'll realize that the pain of letting go was the foundation of your growth. You'll see that every sacrifice you made was worth it because it shaped you into someone stronger, wiser, and more capable of handling the success that once felt out of reach. Every new level of your life demands a stronger, wiser, and more disciplined version of you. Each time you rise, the challenges rise with you. The lessons become deeper, the responsibilities grow heavier, and the expectations get higher. What worked for you at the last stage will not work for you in the next one. Growth is not just about achieving more. It's about becoming more. You're about to continuously evolve into someone capable of carrying the weight of the blessings you're asking for. Life will not hand you a bigger dream if you're still thinking like the person who could only handle small ones. Every elevation in life requires transformation on the inside before manifestation on the outside. It's easy to pray for success, wealth, peace, or purpose. But the question is, are you ready for what those things truly demand? Success is not maintained by luck. It's sustained by discipline. Peace doesn't appear in chaos. It's built through wisdom and control. Every time you level up, life tests you to see if you're prepared to handle more. That's why sometimes the higher you go, the lonelier it feels. You can't bring the same habits, the same mindset, or the same weaknesses into your new season. They won't survive there. The old you must build for comfort, but the new you must be built for endurance. Strength doesn't come from what you gain easily. It comes from what you survive. When you're stepping into a new level, you can expect pressure. You can expect resistance. Because growth never comes without friction. It's like climbing a mountain. The air gets thinner, the path gets steeper, and your muscles start to ache. But that pain means you're ascending. Every level comes with its own test. When you're comfortable, you're not being challenged. When you're being challenged, you're being stretched. And when you're being stretched, you're growing. That's the process of becoming stronger. Life will keep repeating the same lessons until you grow strong enough to move to the next stage. Each time you pass a test, you're proving that you're ready for greater things. Discipline is what separates dreamers from achievers. Everyone wants to reach the top, but not everyone wants to do what it takes to stay there. Every new level of success demands more focus, more consistency, and more control over yourself. You have to learn how to manage your emotions, your time, and your energy. You can't let laziness, procrastination, or distractions dictate your progress. Discipline means doing what's necessary, even when you don't feel like it. It means saying no to things that steal your attention and yes to the things that build your future. Discipline is a form of self-respect. It's how you prove to yourself that you're serious about your goals. Wisdom is another key requirement at every new level. When you were younger, you might have reacted emotionally to every situation. But as you evolve, you learn that not every battle deserves your energy. You start to see the difference between things that matter and things that don't. Wisdom helps you move with patience, purpose, and clarity. It teaches you that timing is just as important as effort. You begin to realize that not every door needs to be opened, and not every opportunity is meant for you. That level of discernment only comes through experience, through the mistakes, the failures, and the moments of reflection that teach you who you really are. Strength, wisdom, and discipline are built through repetition. The more you face challenges, the stronger you become. The more you reflect on your experiences, the wiser you get. The more you control your impulses, the more disciplined you grow. That's how you prepare for your next level, by mastering yourself first. The world outside won't change until the world inside you changes. You can't handle bigger blessings with the same mindset that struggled to handle smaller ones. Life blessings come with responsibility, and if you can't handle what you have now, you won't be trusted with more. Sometimes, life will deliberately place you in situations that stretch your limits, not to break you, but to prepare you. It's testing your patience, your faith, and your endurance. When it feels like everything is getting harder, it usually means you're about to rise higher. Don't mistake struggle for punishment. It's preparation. Diamonds aren't formed without pressure. Champions aren't made without struggle. You can't skip the